Hey guys, it's Sky, and I wanted to connect with you today about the Comet Ison thing, and I know that it's kind of gotten taken off of the front line for a minute, but I just wanted to connect with you, and I'm sorry, but this is the third time that I've tried to, actually it's the fourth time I've tried to put this out, and I have gotten interferences. One time, anyway, I've gotten interferences, so I'm just going to do it again. Just moving on. Anyway, this time I'm actually going to do it in my meditation room, and I have just a couple candles lit. And I know some people wish I'd gotten some comments. I know some people wish that I write things down and explain it to you, because people are very, what I'm finding, very right brain. They have to have things in logical format, but that is not always how it works in spirit world. And I have been contacted from the other dimensions, so it takes a little bit of translation to get the message to you. So please try to use not just your right brain, but the left too. It's going to help you understand this more. So anyway, I wanted to immediately talk to you about what was going on, and I cannot do this unless I bring you back into history. And I have to do that. And well, usually I just want you to know, in all my videos, I'm usually getting fed in my ear information to give to you. So it's not like I can follow a script. It's just not like that. And I know if you're not a light worker, if you're not somebody that is sensitive, or if you've not been contacted, you have no way of understanding that. And you just want everything in some logical order. But I don't think that is going to happen. Anyway, so now back into the history. Okay, I cannot talk about Comet Ison unless I give you history. Otherwise, this just remains a comet. And I know that most astronomers look at this like a comet because they're operating on just half of their brain. Really, they are. You have to use your full brain. That's not an insult. That's just reality. Anyway, they say that it's a comet, but it's not just a comet. There's nothing on this planet that's not fully alive and beaming with God life force energy. It doesn't work that way. Now, whether that energy's moved in a good direction or a bad direction, that depends on the either planet or individual soul. But it's all energy. It's all energy. It all radiates a vibration. It all radiates a signal, and it's all connected. It's just all connected. I don't know how else to tell you that. So, getting back to the history, we have to go back to the Anunnaki. We just have to. Because we have to do Enki and Enlil. And I have to, you may have watched my other videos. Okay, I'm going to give you, think of an alien race. This alien race, this father named Anu. We're going to take him out of another constellation. Let's say he came from the Orion Council. He had 2 sons. The first son was not considered a full-blood Anunnaki because the wife came from the lady came from a very holy place, which she came from the higher crossing, right? The first wife came from the higher crossing, so that first son had half Anunnaki blood, half of that Anunnaki blood, and then half of the mother blood, which was from the high order of very high angels, very, very high angels. Right, so that's Enki. Now that's under Anu. That's the first son under Anu. Anu, one of the very high gods from the Orion Council. Now, Anu had son number 2, which claimed to be the first son, Enlil. Enlil had the mother that was another Anunnaki, because so therefore he's claimed to be the first son. Now, Enki, also known as, the way where we go back and we understand this, Enki, way down the line, is calling carnations down the line, is connected under the same order, the Melchizedek order, the Christ order, the Moses order, the very high, beautiful order under the holy. The Enel part, which Enel did not want Enki to spread his seed. And so, because Enel, the second brother, which is the technological part, he's very into the brain, the right brain, very technical. He thought that this Enki, what Enki did, and creating more people, and because remember, Anu and Enki and Enel came here from another system because they needed stuff for their atmosphere, and in doing so, Nibiru got created. Now, I'm not taking you off the subject, it's the same subject. Nibiru got created. Nibiru's the crossing. The crossing is also the crossing of bloodlines. Now, we're taking it to Enki, the Jesus bloodline, under the Holy Mother, and now the more of, if you want to keep going, through time, they went into more a Satanistic, kind of more right brain, technological, kind of more just everything right brained. So the Enel part, and eventually through time, through years, created a darker, they through time, this is history, long time, they created darker Satanistic race. They ended up connecting with all the governments all over our planet. They ended up intermingling. We could talk about the time of the Nephilim. And they, in general, the Enel part, the scientific, the technology part, still exist. The Anunnaki brothers under Enel, they have bases all over the place. They control, they work with the Illuminati, they control our governments. It's all part of the same thing. They're also part of that whole thing. Now, the Enel thing with the technology, I even can take you back to World War II. These Satanistic Enel races, they worked with Hitler to outdo Enki's race. And that's even taking you back to the flood. Remember, these Enel people tried to outdo this entire race because they didn't want the breeding of this Christ consciousness. They did not want light beings on planet Earth. This was supposed to be for something else. But Lemuria was already here. We already had the angels here. So, this all ties into Comet Ison because, remember, Nibiru is one of the planets that they helped create. Now they say, so some of these, okay, just I have to take you a little side notes. There's no other way to do this. Some of these people some of these bloodlines had gone, they continue to go and they just create chaos for us. They believe the only way that they can survive, because they've gotten so far into omitting the human soul, is that they suck the soul off of Enki's people, the Christ energy. Now, this is how it all fits into Comet Ison. The Enel side, they're all following a biblical script. They helped put the Bible in here at a certain time in our history so that we could be under massive control of the reptilian races. Now, they have to pull, if everything goes crazy, they are masters at creating chaos and then coming in and saving the day. This is how they keep control of the planet. Like I said, the flooding of Moses, the World War II. Now we're going to bring you up even to Comet Ison. I'm giving you tidbits of history. There's so much more that goes into this. Now, Comet Ison has to do with them. Part of them, they left. Now, I said they left and they went underground. Some of them went underground. Some of the people from Atlantis and Lemuria went underground. And the Comet Ison said they're going to come back for those people underground, right? So that is why there's this huge understanding, is this comet, this huge questioning, is this comet coming back to help some of the original Anunnaki, no, the Inky bloodline of Anunnaki, who through years to years, they have a new leader now, and their leader is very, there's part of the Anunnaki that are very spiritual. They've done their, when Inky broke off and that bloodline, they created, they helped splice some of our DNA, and it's no secret. We can just check our second chromosome. We can understand many of us, our DNA is different than the others. It just is. And you've not been told this information. So they believe, anyway, so this is how the whole thing connects. This is how the whole thing connects. Now, when you look at Comet Ison, we understand as a light worker that this comet is coming in with the peace sign around it. It's got the little triangle thing, right? And we understand also that it is not just a planet. It is connection to us. Now, the way that I understand it is behind Comet Ison, behind Comet Ison is what they're showing me will be more of the bigger event. Because Comet Ison is an introduction to you more and more about our star family that will be returning for some people, because they are. The thing that is very hard for the light workers to understand, hard for people to understand in general, it's hard for us to give you this message, is because I told you the Illuminati, they're following a biblical script. They have to follow this. They made it, right? Not all of it's, they take a lot of it out, but also a lot of it was burned in the books of the Alexander Library. So we don't have access to it, but we do have access to it because God gave us our memory back through our blood. That's why the Illuminati are doing so many blood sacrificial rituals, because they want to take your soul and they want to take your blood. And they do. They take the soul through Mind Alter, MK Mind Alter. They've cloned our bodies, and they have taken many of our souls of our celebrities and our teenagers. And I wrote a whole big book about this. It's a very big deal. And so they believe, they actually, this is why we're confused. This is the thing, because they're following this biblical script. Because if they need to pull the last card, they will. The last card, which I want to tell you about, I spent a little bit of time with Carol Rosin in Contact in the Desert. And that was this year over there with Stephen Greer in Joshua Tree. And there was, this isn't like the first conference. I'm in all these conferences with these guys. And she really took the time. She's a wonderful woman. I know you've heard many of her stuff. But she really took the time to explain to us. I mean, I sat down with her and I made a video with her for 14 of our leaders around the country. Explaining, we had been explaining, and she was explaining to this too, and does too, that Colonel, the astronaut, Van Braun, I'm sorry, Von Braun, Colonel Van Braun, I'm sorry about his name. he had warned us that years ago they were working on a thing. They were working on a plan that they were going to make it look like we had an alien invasion. Now, because they need to, right? They need to. If the economy falls apart and HARP, whatever, they can't use HARP as an excuse anymore. The alien, well, they can always use HARP. They're masters at HARP. The alien invasion card will work. Now, here's where the confusion comes in with giving you guys this message. They can easily take Comet Ison, that maybe could be the return, because we do know there are entities on there. They're contacting some of us. There are entities on that spaceship, that comet, whatever you want to call it. It's not just it is not just a ball of fire. That's not anything. Nothing is like that. This is not just a desk. It's not like that. So and they're gonna they can use that to fool you and make you think that this is a terrible alien invasion coming, and kind of use the Comet Ison as something negative. Now, if they choose to do that, if that plan carries out, well, of course we'll know. We're all prepared for it. I think, like I told you in my last video, they tried to take over Earth. They tried to do this during the Olympics. I believe they tried to do it during the Los Angeles riots, and they're trying to cause these big riots here. They're trying to take off. They do everything. Most of the tragedies, it's Illuminati based. It's not a person. People are really good people. They just really are. They've been brainwashed and mind controlled. And a lot of murders happen because they're mind controlled. So, and the Archons have a lot to do with it. So this is why Comet Ison seems to be a little bit evasive, because they can use this to make you think that there's a terrible alien invasion. But the interesting thing is this comet is coming in with a peace sign on it. So now you cannot forget that these Illuminati the Anunnaki work on a whole different technology. They are able to go mimic our realities. They're able to do parallel Earths. They're able to, they have technology that is huge. It's a third of God's power, because it's a third of the Satan race that fell off, and they have some of the beings, the original light of God in them, but it went crazy. So they do have technology that is far superior to us. But I don't know anymore, because what I have been shown from these light beings that have been contacted, thousands and thousands of light workers like myself, is that we have our memory back, is that we have our genetic memory. We're genetically coded to have our memory back. So, and that is what's happening. I started to get my memory back and understand things that I had no idea that these things were going on. And not only that, they literally, I know this. They take us, just like the dark takes people, and they have work for them in the ethereal. They actually work in the ethereal. A lot of archons are trolls, archons. Well, not trolls. Archons are working in the ethereal through computers, through everything you can imagine to trick you. The ethereal, the energy body. So is the light. So is the light. They are taking us out of our body at night, taking us up stargates. They're taking us on ships. I know they put things down to stop earthquakes. they have a plan for Comet Ison too. Believe me, if anything goes into our planet that is going to do anything of a nuclear war or massive destruction, we're going to have interference and we will be taken off planet. But the timeline that they're showing me, that's not going to happen, because I think that already did happen on another timeline. So we, on this timeline that we're experiencing, I don't see that as happening, but I see that Comet Ison, they really are going to tell us about our other alien families. Now, whether it's all going to be kind of more it's very hard to say, because I know people are very, you should see the letters I get. I want an answer. I want to know what day, what time, and okay. Anyway, it's just all I can do is tell you the information that they're telling us and how it's going down and what is real and how terribly you have been tricked. You know, like I was talking about Carol, she said that when they had gone and they had those astronauts build these fake alien things, it's because they needed to. They needed to. And it was going to be the last card, and they were going to mimic Planet X. Now, out of nowhere, this is just a question for you. Out of nowhere, Zachariah Sitchin comes out of the woodwork, okay? So, he's got some very amazing information for us. He's got big information for us, which we really love. But I'm wondering why. Why do they put these people, they bring them out in history now? Because there's a reason. They want you to know this information, and they want to manipulate it. They want to manipulate you and control you. Now, the only thing you need to know, well, not the only thing, well, really, what you need to know is you are connected to the God source that has all the information that I just gave you. Just take the time in your life to meditate. We're all, and I know you know that I'm not trying to be preachy. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get, if more people can stop relying on out here to get answers, especially the television. If you want to know what's not real, watch television. It's not real. It's an illusion. They trick you. They even have little things coming out of the television radar that is manipulating your mind. See, people just get so wrapped up in having to watch these shows and having to do anything but to the heart, because that's the anil line, that's the technology line. More technology, more technology, more technology away from the soul. That's what they're trying to do to you. Now the Christ energy, the Christ beings, they, like I said, they didn't want the Christ energy on this earth. The Christ energy, they're trying to do away with that. But that's not going to happen because too many people have been genetically coded to wake up now. So if we're going to be tricked by Comet Ison, we're going to be able to see it. If the ETs come in and they take Comet Ison off course, they're going to tell us. So that's how that works. We're operating on the collective. It's the collective. It's the collective, and you connect with the collective. And to do that, you have to sometimes go to the fourth dimension for that, or you have to meditation. You have to get out of your body, out of your right brain, and into the ethereal, into the heart, into the God center. The heart is the strongest, most powerful thing. It doesn't compare to anything. It is stronger than the brain. The heart houses the brain. The heart steers the boat of Gaia. That's where the collective is. The heart steers the boat. That's my mission. That's what they came to me 3 years ago. They said, your planet's going to change. You must prepare the people. And not just me. I'm not anything different than anybody else. Had a wealth of life experience. I'm going to go on and on. Maybe that's why they are connecting to me, or I have a sensitivity to it. Just like the next light worker, you don't just become a light worker because you woke up and said, I'm going to be a light worker. It's usually because you've had huge amount of stuff in your life. You've had massive amount of stuff because they're training you. You're in training. You're actually in training, and you have a mission, and your mission will be carried out, and because you can't not do it. It's your bloodline. It's your blood. It's in your blood. It is, and the blood of Gaia, the blood of Earth. This is her. This is her manifesting through us. Her voice. So I hope this explains Comet Ison. I really tried to break it down for you. I really tried to break it down as particular, as esoteric as I could. Esoteric, and then to hone it into here, to Earth. Because it's a very complex story. We're living in a very complex universe. This is not like black and white. It's just not. So enjoy the ride, and I hope that helps. And thank you for searching.